Hey guys, it's Will. Hopefully you're having a great day today. So while the defense market has been shaky, you see companies like Black Sky have some sell-offs, and then you got Redwire had a good day today. But one of our top five AI stocks we've been watching here, Big Bear AI, has been on a trend upward over the last year from $1 a share, and it's been holding above this $5 range, and we're looking for it to hold above $5.50 this morning. When we were in our daily live trading session, we saw that it did bounce down right this morning. You could see that big sell-off we were anticipating from a lot of the stocks, as there's kind of this uptrend where they were uptrending here and potentially would sell down into this range around 550. They did bounce the 550 price point. You can see it was just about 562, and then they're continuing back up here after hours, about 4.5%. There's three things that we look at when we're analyzing a stock. The first is going to be the market. The second is going to be the analysis of the financials, the news, and the charts, and then the risk to reward. Well, the big beautiful bill was not good for some industries, particularly in maybe education, if you're looking for more funding for things related to research and development. There's certain things that were not as beautiful with the big beautiful bill. There were some things related to, probably healthcare, some things like that as well that maybe weren't perfect. But one of the things that was very adamant about the big beautiful bill was that they're going to increase defense spending. And defense spending is something that you have this whole kind of ecosystem of companies that are in the defense market. And the value that they provide is a lot of times related to maybe warfare, it could be related to cybersecurity, it could be related to surveillance, or it could be related to AI. And in this case, a lot of the top companies that are actually securing the largest contracts in defense are related to tech. You saw it when it was like Doge, and you had Elon and what's his name? I don't want to mispronounce his name. Something Schwami was in there with Vinek, I think his name, something Schwami, was in there with the defense and spending around and looking at the spending in government from all parts across the government with Doge. And they said that basically the US government needs a tech company, right? So what do you have then? You got the big beautiful bill. You definitely got some more money coming into that. Then you had the Democrats actually block a defense spending bill in the shutdown. And that's when the whole defense market had a rough time. So during the shutdown, you actually had Big Bear AI sell down big time during that time, all the way down from what was around $9.45 to as low as $5 a share. So big drop down in most defense companies. That's not just Big Bear, that's every defense company. And then the market now has seen more spending. There was one contract that came out in defense. I think it was AMTM, who secured like $1 billion deal. Then you had Black Sky come in with some deals. CTM actually secured some deals recently. They're holding above $1 a share. Palantir has done fine. They've got the revenues. Redwire has secured some more deals. We were trading them this morning, actually, in a small trade this morning. It looks like we're up. Oh, it's not really moved much, but it's green right now, just about $15. Nothing crazy. We're actually looking for potentially over $500 to $1,000 trade on Redwire. We were looking at it this morning in our daily live trading session, and they're a partner of Big Bear AI as well. And so Big Bear AI is partnered with Redwire. They're partnered with Palantir, and so the market's in their favor, really, because they got some things moving for them, more defense spending, and the other part of the market for the defense market. And this is really for almost any defense companies that are gearing up to try and push certain, let's say, contracts through related to people coming in and out of the United States, is the defense spending on things related to the 2026 FIFA World Cup and the 2028 Olympics. Both of those are coming. Thank you, darling. I appreciate you. So both of those things are coming to the United States, and you have that as a major focus for national security. Now, in that same breath, you could see the CEO, who was previously on the acting secretary of, I think it was Department of Defense or Homeland Security or Border Protections, Kevin McAleenan, is one of the members of this company, the CEO, that would be getting those deals for them. And then on the right side, you actually see this company. It's called Ask Sage. You see that? So Ask Sage is actually a company that has many government contracts. Okay, and they are an generative AI model kind of library for top US companies. So they work with some of the top models. You can see some of the models they work with, and they have partners in like the Department of Defense, over 13,000 government contracts, including or teams, including US Air Force and Space Force. And so the model right now is that BigBear.ai purchased them. So they're preparing for that market. The other market that's growing for BigBear is their computer vision, the TrueFace, and the VeryScan. But how does that impact pricing, and what does that look like? Because they have the VeryScan technology. That's a big factor. They've deployed into dozens of airports with this facial scanner that scans your face when you go in and out of the airports. And they're at some of the top airports in the world. So they're at Denver International Airport, Los Angeles, they're in Charlotte, in Nashville, in JFK, in Heathrow Airport, and they're deploying this AI identity authentication here. So that's a market. And that brings us to the real world value. Do you see more money coming in? The spending is up, so that ties the market well. The financials, more revenue. Their revenue has been kind of flat. They need more revenue. And then the balance sheet, their assets have surged. They are looking good on the balance sheet. They got almost $1 billion in assets. So that brings us kind of into the analysis, right, of the financials. You can look at the market. Market's validated. AI defense, big market. It's growing. And they're a partner here with Palantir and some others. And so BigBear.ai, they haven't seen the revenue really increase. They need to come in with this next quarter with some more revenue, because after acquiring this new Ask Sage company for $250 million, we'd like to see them, turn that into some profit. That being said, they did come in with a positive net income in the last quarter, which is an increase there on the net profit margin of 100%. And then you got the balance sheet up to $1 billion, which is healthy for BigBear. So the value in knowing the analysis of the financials, things look pretty good. If we look at the buyers and the sellers, according to NASDAQ, you got JP Morgan, BlackRock, Swiss National Bank, State Street investing into the company. And there's 215 increased positions versus just 104 decreased positions. So really you got more capital flowing into this company from institutions. So that kind of brings us to the news of the company, what they've come out with recently. There's new deployments that they have definitely in their market related to the VeryScan. But they also just diluted investors here with a recent shareholder meeting that they had. And then they basically signed something here. The news that came out here, they actually authorized shareholders approve higher authorized shares and bylaw update. This filing impact neutral, insights neutral. But basically what they did is the company's stockholders approved the amendment to increase authorized common shares from 500 million to 1 billion based on the votes recorded at the special meeting. This does not itself issue new shares, but expands the maximum number the company could issue in the future for purposes such as financing, acquisitions, or equity, compensation, depending on later board decisions. That's part of what's coming on when you're owning common shares versus preferred shares is there could be some risk for dilution there. Now, maybe it's like comes in the form of a stock split or something like that. Probably not, though. It may come in the form of dilution. It's very common for smaller companies to do that. Their market cap is at 2.6 billion, so they're not super small. But it's still something to watch, right? Now, how does that impact maybe the future? Let's take a look at Prophecy, and let's jump into the machine here. Formerly the machine, nowadays we're calling it Prophecy, which is a much cooler name. We got BBAI projections over the next month, according to Grok, look bullish at 4.2%. Again, kind of factoring in the buying and selling from BlackRock and Citadel and State Street. You do see more buying and selling. And then on the insider side, I'm not fully sure. It looks like maybe more sells. Yeah, a little bit more sells than buys, which isn't bad, but could suggest position adjustments. They had a change in CEO recently, which may be impacting the insider buying and selling. But overall, you got 261 buys. So we kind of went over that again in the NASDAQ data, but just from the machine, top transactors indicating some bullish momentum with more acquisitions. And if you're looking at the analysis of the company, this is where we kind of get into, hey, let's look at the chart. Let's start to look at where things are. So news looks fairly good. They are down to this $5 a share price point. So this level here in their overall uptrend over the last year is a level here where they've consolidated. They're between that $5 and $6 price point. So they're currently, if they're around that $5 price point, the resistance is at $6.50. Okay, that's where they kind of got rejected pre-market today or after hours yesterday. And as they're starting to recover, they're looking to get back up into $6.50 with a support at that $5.50 range that they bounced at this morning, as we mentioned. So in the near term, nearest support level is going to be right here around that $5.50 range. It's about a 6% sell down if they can't hold it. But they are consolidating from left to right. They're looking to break back up above that $6.50 range. Maybe they sell down first. They're trying to break out above $6.50, which would be a 6% increase. To next levels would be around $7.50 to $8.50, which would be a 40% increase on the bullish momentum. Now, overall uptrend has been really bullish. They're right down at that 200-day moving average. They're looking to break above the EMA, that blue line, which oftentimes they're below, they're bearish. If they're above, they're bullish. They're trying to break above it. If they break above here, it's kind of looking like next target. Again, it's going to be $6.50 to $8, $9, or even $10 a share, kind of continuing that trend that they've been holding above the 200-day moving average since this time last year when they were at $1 per share. They're at $6 now. So with that being said, you look at the projections, looks like, let's take a look at the next week here, next day. Okay, so over the next week, this sell down, they are saying that they're maybe going to hold that $6.50 resistance, but that you can see a potential sell down here into that kind of $5.75. So what the AI is looking at right now, and why Grok is saying that it could be a sell down, is that they are going to sell down into this range down here. They're going to sell down a little bit further, and then after that, they're anticipating a push up. According to Grok, next week a little bit bearish, but then by next week, looking bullish into the 630, 650 range. And most models are pretty bullish, over 40 or 38% over the next year. I think that's even pretty conservative, I think, personally. I mean, as my position, I've been in it since $1, or watching it since $1. We're average $2.80 in the stock. And then Prophecy, when we use Claude as well, I'd like to get a full analysis on Claude. 15% projection over the next month. That's pretty bullish. I mean, again, you got that $6.50 resistance, but they're looking to push up into $6.75 to $7 a share. So again, we'll be watching there at market open tomorrow morning. If you guys want to tune on into our daily live trading session, see if any opportunities present themselves, you can always tune on in, see my entries, see my exits, and surround yourself with like-minded investors. We're looking for that move again up to about $6.50, and maybe we can trade it tomorrow morning. Unless we get that dip at market open like we have been getting In bullish markets, we get a dip at market open, then potentially recover throughout the rest of the day. Whatever happens, when it happens, tomorrow morning we'll be watching and seeing if we can see those opportunities at market open. So again, that's the second link below for StockMate if you'd like to join us there. On top of that, when it comes to the prophecy machine, if you haven't had a chance and you'd like to start using some AI in your analysis and get into the loop on all the stocks and don't lose the ability to stay in the loop and get the refresh on these companies. Let's see how Claude says. Claude is a little more conservative, about 32% over the next year. How do they look over the next day? Are they saying some red? Maybe no, they're saying a little more green. So it's good to see some different models. We also just recently added an average of all the models via Prophecy AI. So if you'd like to use tools like this, again, it's the first link below to get your hands on Prophecy. Appreciate you all. Thanks so much for tuning in. If I earned your thumbs up, hit the like button. Let me know what you think about the projections. Again, kind of consolidating between that 550 and 650. So potential sell down here into that 540 if they can't hold it, but looking to knock on the door of 650 right now. Let me know what you think. If you agree, what you think in the comment section below. And thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Appreciate you all. Do consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.